Well, good Thursday morning, everybody. It is October 28th, 2021, and we are in for another dreary, rainy day, I think, today. It looks like we got about, I think, I saw Herb Wheeler post that we had close to an inch and a half of rain yesterday that came down in bits and spatters. I actually, yesterday afternoon, drove up to Sioux Falls after lunch, and it rained the entire time I was going there and back. I drove in the rain, and it was raining much harder up there, I think. I'm pretty sure they got more than an inch and a half along the road because there were times where I was driving in considerable amount of rain. So, but today, Thursday, October 28th, is our soup supper tonight, and the ladies are already down in the kitchen cooking, and Clyde is down there with them, and it is smelling way too good. They're going to be torturing me the entire day, especially as I'm sitting here trying to focus to do this devotion. But don't forget, if you're listening and you're from Woodlawn or from Lake City, come on up for the soup supper tonight, okay? With that, we are going to finish chapter 7 today, and tomorrow we will jump into chapter 8, and we'll be dealing with the woman caught in adultery, which is a very interesting passage. But today we are looking at verses 45 to 53 in the 7th chapter of John's Gospel, and this is entitled The Unbelief of Those in Authority. So, then the temple police went back to the chief priests and Pharisees, who asked them, "Why did you not arrest him?" The police answered, "Never has anyone spoken like this." Then the Pharisees replied, "Surely you have not been deceived too, have you? Has any one of the authorities or of the Pharisees believed in him? But this crowd, which does not know the law, they are accursed." Nicodemus, who had gone to Jesus before and who was one of them, asked, "Our law does not judge people without first giving them a hearing to find out what they are doing, does it?" They replied, "Surely you are not also from Galilee, are you? Search and you will see that no prophet is to arise from Galilee." Then each of them went home. Okay, and actually that last bit kind of sometimes gets included with chapter 8 in the story of the woman caught in adultery. But they argued and went home. How do you like that? So the police had gone there, and due to Jesus's charisma, his words, what he's speaking, his message, his persona, they let him be. And they went back empty-handed. The authorities, of course, are bashing them for how foolish and stupid and easily deceived you are, and accusing the crowd of not having all the information, when we know, in hindsight, that the crowd actually is the ones that are seeing what's going on here. They realize, they are aware that even though he grew up in Galilee, he was born in Bethlehem, and that he was of the tribe of David. He was of that lineage. So all of the prophecy is true in him. But the Pharisees have a lack of knowledge. They don't know everything. They think they know everything, but they don't know everything. And I think that this is something that we can apply in life application to ourselves, especially in the current situation that we find ourselves in. We have been very guilty of condemning and cursing others based on a lack of knowledge, from both sides of many issues. And we all do that. We do that in our day-to-day lives. We do that in our political careers. We do that in all kinds of different aspects of life. We make judgments based on imperfect, incomplete knowledge, inaccurately interpreted knowledge as well. So we can take away from this to know that we need to be careful the judgments we make. We may too miss the Messiah. I have a very real concern that when Jesus does come again, that many, the scripture tells us that, many that should know who he is won't, because they have a preconceived notion that is based on incomplete knowledge that you're only going to know in hindsight, perhaps. So there is danger to that. We have to be careful. We don't want to make decisions without knowledge, but at the same time, we want to be careful that we do our due diligence and collect all the knowledge, not just what people are trying to tell us. The Pharisees here are filtering things out, aren't they? And we got to be careful about that in this world. So we do want to be careful. We do want to be very cognizant of that. We don't want to snap to judgments. We don't want to condemn poor Nicodemus, who, by the way, is making his second appearance here. Remember, he was the one that came and then had to be born again. He'll come back again. He'll show up later. But there's Nicodemus there, and he is one of them that really is seeing what's going on. But he's being lambasted. He's the minority of the authority. Okay, the minority of the authorities is the one that really knows what's going on and really sees the truth. And that is something we might want to remember too. Consensus doesn't always mean truth. Sometimes it's the one willing to speak up against the crowd that is the one speaking the truth. Nicodemus is a very clear and true illustration of that point. So we want to remember that. Bear that in mind. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Have a very blessed day. Tomorrow we will start chapter 8, and we'll be talking about that woman that is caught in adultery. And that is, again, a good, that is a bit of scripture we do want to talk about. So have a very blessed day. Don't forget the soup supper. If you're in Lake City, come on up and have some soup. I believe we have vegetable beef, and we have chili, and it's always good, either one. And we have Donna's cinnamon rolls, Donna Westcott's cinnamon rolls, so you don't want to miss that, for crying out loud. Free will offering for the dinner tonight. Have a blessed one, and be a blessing to someone today. Tell them about Jesus, and tell them about the soup supper too.